Y'all know the saying, ain't no hate like Christian love? This story epitomizes that. I don't even know where to start. Let me just start with this. Some racist homophobes decided to replace Pride Month just for themselves and people like them with Heteroawesome Month. Yeah, no creativity at all. And yes, this month is as bigoted and hateful as you can imagine. And within this month, they decided in Boise, Idaho, to have a Heteroawesome festival. My goodness. And you got to hear how these people came up with this, how this day came about. And yes, again, it is as hateful and bigoted and racist as you can imagine. But let them tell you how this day came about. I'll probably have to cut into it a few times because these people are fucking crazy and we need to call out every single bit of their bullshit.
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Hazlett with the Idaho Freedom Foundation, and we are here with Mark Fitzpatrick, who is the owner of Old State Saloon, the brain behind Heteroawesome Month, and also the winner of one of the winners of the 2024 IFF Citizens Hero Award.
So the guy owns a bar in Boise, Idaho, and he sat down with the Idaho Freedom Foundation to talk about his Heteroawesome Festival. The Idaho Freedom Foundation gave him the 2024 Person of the Year Award or some shit like that. And if you want to know what the Idaho Freedom Foundation is, it's exactly what it sounds like. A far-right, hateful, bigoted-ass organization. You go to their page and they're like, get rid of immigration, get rid of the leftist riots and blah, blah, blah. You go deeper into their page and they talk about ending woke and pride flags and Pride Month and so forth and so on. So these two bigots and homophobes sat down with each other to talk about what's coming up, the Heteroawesome Festival.
So it's very nice to be here. Thank you so much for speaking with us. How are you doing? We're a couple days out from the big festival.
Yeah, and a lot of excitement here. Thanks for stopping by Old State Saloon, Rachel. It's good to see you. And we are just in the last hours of throwing everything that we can together to make this fest amazing.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't big, there was no excitement, and it was not amazing. It makes me feel good to know that not many people showed up to that bullshit.
It's going to be 2 days, Friday and Saturday, 20th and 21st. And it's going to be packed full of a lot of fun. We have all the booths that are going to be there. Of course, Old State Saloon will be there, selling tasty beverages. We have live entertainment, live music. There's a kids zone.
All this shit for a festival that could have been a goddamn email. And of course they have a kids zone. Of course they're going to have indoctrination stations to tell these kids that they should hate people for just living as well.
Sounds like it's going to be an amazing event. So tell us a little bit about what Heteroawesome is. Is this, talk to us about kind of the ideas and the values behind what that phrase is.
Well, we got started about a year ago, and it was the result of my family thinking, hey, what are we going to do in June to celebrate a birthday party that we had, and we wanted to kind of avoid downtown Boise because of everything that happens during Pride Month. And so I thought, hey, what if there's other people thinking that? What could we offer at Old State Saloon that would be something that is a God-honoring alternative to what goes on that month in Pride and everything? And I thought, well, if we're going to stay on the sexuality kick, He created heterosexuality. It is an amazing gift from God to us, and I think, why don't we celebrate that? That's pretty awesome. So Heteroawesome, so we call it Heterosexual Awesomeness Month.
Okay, so he said a lot of hateful bullshit in this statement, but let's just break it down here. So they were just going to have someone's birthday party and decided to avoid downtown Boise. They were avoiding downtown Boise because they didn't want to get caught up in any of the pride activities. So with that, he decided, what if there are other people who are as hateful and bigoted as we are who want to avoid somewhere together as well? So then he thought, well, let's stay with the sexuality thing because our heterosexuality is such a huge gift from God. We should have something that celebrates that. And because that's awesome, hey, how about we call it Heteroawesome? So that's how they came up with the dumbest name for the dumbest festival marketed to the dumbest, racist, homophobic people out there. And now some of you guys are saying, well, Coach D, where's the racism? Here it is right here.
June, and it's still Pride Month, but Heteroawesome Fest has come to a controversial end. I'm your neighborhood reporter Jessica Davis, speaking with the organizer of the festival and his response toward racist comments made at his event during a podcast.
It's top-notch American city.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are still very good bars around, great food. There's the Basque District. Again, it's clean. There aren't any black people here.
This is Dave Riley, the co-host and producer of The Backlash, a talk show described as the premier American nationalist talk show. Riley made those comments at the Heteroawesome Festival this weekend at Cecil D. Andrews Park in Boise.
They said, hey, can we set up and do a live broadcast, an interview? They wanted to sit and interview with the speakers that were coming to our event.
Mark Fitzpatrick is the owner of Old State Saloon, who put on the controversial event celebrating straight pride. And he's seen on video during Riley's comment. He says he didn't hear Riley because he didn't have the podcast headphones on.
You will never hear that from me. I won't say that. Nor do I think it was wise or a kind thing for him to say.
I reached out to Riley for an interview Monday. He wasn't available, but sent me this statement saying, quote, "Diversity is a weakness, not a strength. The LGBTQIA plus movement is satanic. Straight white people are welcome and wanted in Idaho. Christ is king."
And I know a lot of Christians get mad when I call these people Christians, but they call themselves Christians, and it is your responsibility to call them out and not allow them front and center in your Christianity. So this guy is like, let me say a bunch of hateful shit, and at the end of it, Christ is king. Because again, there is no hate like Christian love. And listen, the guys who organized this, they knew exactly who this guy was. If you go to his pages, you know he's a racist bigot. So for anyone, and this guy is going to try to say, I had no idea. I didn't think he was going to say anything like that. I didn't even hear him, he says. I didn't hear him say the racist stuff. But if you watch the video closely, you can tell he heard it. But yes, he tries to deny it. But even worse, he says, I'm not apologizing for it.
So you have somebody who's his own thing and has his own persona, right? He has a podcast, so he's going to choose to do what he decides to do. I'm not going to apologize for something that somebody else said. I will say, I definitely wouldn't have said it.
Fitzpatrick says he isn't racist, citing his Christian faith.
As long as they recognize they're a sinner and they know that Jesus Christ died on the cross for their sins. It doesn't matter what color you are.
So he claims he's not a racist because he's a Christian, and Christians can't be racist, right? And then he says, I'm not apologizing for it. You're not going to apologize for having someone at your event who made racist statements while you were sitting there with him. That is the freaking type of love you really want from your Christians out there. But let me tell you something that made me smile about this entire event. Somehow, this guy was able to sign up, get himself on stage, and then sing a pro-transgender song for 3 minutes before they even noticed it and basically kicked him off stage. This shit is funny.
They put him in dresses to keep him in line. They say it's a phase and it's all in his mind. They put him in ballet, he wants to play ball. What matters to him doesn't matter at all. The boy that everyone thought was a girl. We love you!
I fucking love that. So yes, Hetero freaking Awesome Month is nothing but, hey, look at us. We're about 50 bigots who decided to go to a park together and hate people for fucking living. I hate these type of people. I don't care what anyone says. These people suck. They fucking are horrible. And I wish the absolute worst for them. And if you do not like the fact that these people call themselves Christians, you, as a Christian, should make sure you call this type of shit out. Because if these people get to wear the cloak of Christianity and go around saying just the most hateful shit like this, and you sit next to them in your church or you go to festivals with them, you're as hateful, you're as bigoted, you're as racist as they are, and I hope the worst for you as well. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in they heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.